New York City 3 years ago, the penthouse view glimmered with the lights of Manhattan, but all Rachel could see was the reflection of her tear-streaked face in the floor-to-ceiling windows. Her hand trembled against her stomach. She had rehearsed the words a dozen times in her mind, but now they sat like stones on her tongue. "I'm pregnant," she finally said, her voice barely more than a whisper. Across the room, Logan Barrett, tech tycoon, Forbes darling, and her fiancée, froze mid-sip of his bourbon. His sharp gray eyes blinked slowly, as if trying to process a language he didn't speak. "You're what?" "Pregnant. I found out last week." Rachel tried to smile. "It's early, but it's ours, Logan." For a moment there was silence. Then Logan set his glass down with a quiet clink, walked past her, and opened the balcony door. Cold air rushed in. He didn't say a word. Rachel followed him outside, confused. "Logan!" He turned, his expression unreadable, but his eyes had gone distant, cold, calculating. "This wasn't the plan," he said. "It's life, Logan. Life doesn't follow PowerPoint decks and quarterly projections." She laughed nervously. "I thought you'd be happy." "I'm building something, Rachel. A legacy. I don't have time for this." He gestured vaguely toward her stomach. Her heart shattered into pieces. "You don't have time for our child?" she asked, her voice cracking. He didn't answer. Instead, he looked away, his jaw tight. "Maybe we rushed into this." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying," he replied slowly, "that maybe we're not right for each other after all." It felt like the wind had been knocked out of her. "You're breaking up with me because I'm pregnant?" Logan didn't flinch. "You knew what this life demanded. I told you from the start. I can't do this, Rachel. Not now. Maybe not ever." The ring she wore, the dazzling, custom-designed diamond he'd placed on her finger just 5 months ago, suddenly felt like a chain around her soul. She ripped it off and dropped it onto the balcony floor. "I thought you were more than your empire," she whispered. "I'm not," Logan said simply, before walking back inside and closing the balcony door behind him, leaving her outside, pregnant, alone, and heartbroken. Present day, New York City. Charity Gala? Roosevelt Grand Ballroom. Logan adjusted his cufflinks as the elevator doors opened into the gold-lit expanse of the Roosevelt Grand. Chandeliers sparkled, champagne flowed, and the city's elite mingled over foie gras and million-dollar donations. The tech mogul had just been named Philanthropist of the Year. The irony wasn't lost on him. He gave a practiced smile as cameras flashed. He'd arrived with Gabriella Klein, a model-turned-influencer, his flavor of the month. She clung to his arm like a trophy. "Smile more," she whispered between fake grins. "People are watching." Logan obliged, nodding at familiar faces. Investors, executives, the press. But then he saw her. His world stopped. At the far end of the ballroom stood a woman in a deep emerald gown that shimmered under the lights. Her dark hair was swept up elegantly, and her profile was both graceful and hauntingly familiar. Rachel. For a second, Logan thought he might be hallucinating. But when she turned, laughing gently at something someone said, it was undeniably her. She was stunning, glowing, alive in a way she hadn't been before. And standing beside her was a child, a small boy, perhaps 2 or 3 years old, with curly brown hair and bright gray eyes that mirrored Logan's own. His heart punched his ribs. "Gabriella, I need a moment," he muttered, already moving. "Logan? What?" But he was gone. Across the ballroom, Rachel stood tall, even as her heart thudded with unease. She had known he might be here. This was his charity, after all. But seeing Logan Barrett in the flesh, 3 years after he left her standing in the cold, was something no amount of mental preparation could have fully cushioned. Beside her, little Noah tugged at the cuff of her gown. "Mommy, can I have another cookie?" She smiled down at him, brushing a curl from his forehead. "Just one more, baby. Ask Miss Renee, okay?" As the boy toddled toward the dessert table, Rachel felt a shadow loom beside her. She didn't need to turn to know who it was. "Rachel," came the voice, lower. Rougher than she remembered, she inhaled slowly before turning. Logan. He looked older, broader in the shoulders, tired around the eyes, but still impossibly handsome in his custom tux. Still the man she once loved, and still the man who shattered her. I didn't expect to see you here, he said. You're the host, she replied evenly. I should say the same. He gave a weak chuckle. You look beautiful. Thank you. A pause stretched between them, electric and thick with unspoken memories. Logan's eyes darted past her shoulder, toward the little boy now giggling at the cookie table. Logan stared at the boy across the room, unable to move. His chest was tight, like someone had wrapped iron chains around his ribs. 100 people swirled around them, laughing, drinking, posing for photographs. But all he saw was the small boy with his curls, his soft grin, and his eyes. Logan turned back to Rachel, barely able to speak. He's mine? Rachel's lips pressed together, her arms folded across her chest, more from defense than cold. You left before you could ever find out, she said, her voice calm, measured. But yes, he's your son. He's 3 years old. He likes dinosaurs, pancakes, and he hates wearing socks. Logan's throat bobbed as he swallowed. Rachel, why didn't you tell me? Her eyes flashed. You told me you didn't have time for this. Remember? I believed you. I believed you when you said I didn't matter, and neither would our child. I didn't mean that, he said quickly. I was scared. I was caught up in the business, the IPO, the pressure. Don't, she cut in. Don't make this about money, or pressure, or your empire. You had a choice, Logan. You looked at me, pregnant with your child, and you walked away. I was stupid, he murmured, shaking his head. No, you were selfish. That word, selfish, struck him harder than he expected. Logan prided himself on control, clarity, dominance in every boardroom. But now, standing in front of the woman he left and the child he never met, he felt like a ghost in his own life. I want to meet him, he said finally. Rachel's eyes narrowed. Why? So you can check a box on your way back to the top? Appear in Forbes again, under World's Most Regretful Ex-Fiancée? No, he said, jaw tightening. Because he's my son, and I want to know him. Rachel took a breath and glanced toward Noah. The little boy was now holding hands with a kind elderly woman in pearls, someone from the foundation who adored kids. You don't just walk back into someone's life after 3 years, Logan, she said. Parenting isn't something you drop in on between meetings. I know, he said quietly, but I can't undo what I did. I can't go back in time. All I can do is try now. Rachel hesitated. She was quiet for a long moment, then said, He doesn't know who you are. He thinks his dad is away, not absent. I've protected him from the truth. Logan looked down, ashamed. I deserve that, but please, just 5 minutes. Rachel studied him. Finally, she gave a reluctant nod. 5 minutes. But don't you dare make a promise you can't keep. Rachel led Logan to the quiet garden just outside the ballroom. The night air was cool, scented with lavender. Noah sat on a bench, swinging his legs and munching on a second cookie. His chubby cheeks were flushed with joy. Noah, Rachel said softly, kneeling beside him, there's someone I want you to meet. His name is Logan. The boy looked up with wide, curious eyes. Logan lowered himself to one knee, his heart pounding. Hi, Noah, he said, forcing a smile. That cookie looks amazing. Noah blinked, then broke off a piece and held it out. Want some? Logan's throat tightened. He took the piece with shaking fingers. Thanks, buddy. They sat in silence for a moment, the boy munching happily, Logan watching him like someone seeing color for the first time. You like dinosaurs? Logan asked after a while. Noah nodded enthusiastically. I got T-Rex pajamas. They roar. He mimicked a growl complete with claws. Logan chuckled. I used to love T-Rex too when I was your age. You got pajamas? Noah asked seriously. No, Logan laughed, but I think I need some now. Rachel stood to the side, arms crossed, her expression unreadable. Watching her son bond with the man who had once crushed her soul, she wasn't sure if it filled her heart or twisted it. Noah's small voice broke through her thoughts. Mommy, can he come to my birthday? Rachel's breath caught. Logan looked up. His voice was soft. When's your birthday, Noah? Next month. Mommy says I get a big cake this time. Rachel stepped forward quickly. That's enough for tonight. It's getting late. Noah pouted. But I want to show Logan my T-Rex run. Next time, Rachel said gently. Logan rose slowly. Thank you, he said to her, for letting me meet him. Rachel gave a short nod. We'll see if there's a next time. Later that night, Rachel's apartment. Rachel sat at the edge of Noah's bed, stroking his hair as he slept. Her eyes were heavy with unshed tears. She had built a life from scratch after Logan left. No help, no support, just grit, sleepless nights, and the kind of fierce love only a mother knows. Now he was back. And worse, he was kind, patient, interested, and that scared her more than his absence ever had. Logan's penthouse, Midnight Logan, stood alone on his balcony, staring into the Manhattan skyline, haunted. He had seen his son, heard his laugh, held a piece of his cookie, 3 years wasted. He pulled out his phone and opened a photo he'd secretly taken tonight. Noah grinning in that little dinosaur voice. He didn't deserve a second chance, but he was going to fight for it anyway. The small backyard buzzed with laughter, squeaky balloons, and the scent of frosting. Paper dinosaurs hung from the fence, and a green cake in the shape of a T-Rex sat proudly on the picnic table. Rachel stood near the grill, adjusting party hats on the kids, smiling through the exhaustion. Noah had talked about this day for weeks, his 4th birthday. She'd kept things modest, close friends, a few parents from daycare, and her neighbor, Renee. What she hadn't planned for was him. A sleek black car pulled up at the curb. The laughter quieted. Rachel turned toward the gate and froze. Logan stepped out, holding a large wrap box in one hand and something else in the other. Noah's eyes widened. Logan! The boy sprinted toward the gate before Rachel could say anything. Logan dropped to one knee and opened his arms wide. Noah flung himself into them with the wild joy only children know. Rachel's stomach twisted. She walked over, arms crossed. You weren't invited. Logan rose, cradling the boy easily. I didn't come to ruin anything. I just wanted to give him this. He handed over the wrap box, and Noah tore through the paper like a tornado. Inside was a remote-controlled dinosaur, complete with growls and moving legs. Noah's shriek of joy made everyone chuckle. I love it, he beamed. Mommy, look! Rachel forced a smile. It's, a lot. Logan gently set Noah down. Why don't you go show Miss Renee how fast it runs? As the boy scampered off, Logan turned to Rachel. I know I'm not part of his life, but I want to be. I came today because I've been thinking about what you said and about how I left. Rachel didn't speak. She simply waited. Logan exhaled. There's something you don't know about why I really walked away that night. Rachel frowned. Because you didn't want a family. You said it yourself. That's not the full story, he said. 2 days before you told me you were pregnant, I got a call. My mother had collapsed. I flew to Boston that same night. She was diagnosed with an advanced stage of early-onset Alzheimer's. Rachel blinked, stunned. She made me promise not to tell anyone. Not the board, not the press, and definitely not you. She was proud and terrified. The condition progressed faster than expected. She barely remembered me a few months later. Why didn't you tell me? Rachel whispered. I was scared. I thought if I added fatherhood to the mix, I'd crack. I didn't want to drag you through my storm. But you dragged me through another one instead, she said quietly. He nodded. I know. I've regretted it every day since. Rachel looked away, blinking hard. Emotions clashed like thunder in her chest. Hurt, confusion, a flicker of the old love that refused to die. I didn't want to cause chaos today, he added. I'll leave if that's what you want, but I want to be in his life. I don't care how slow it has to be. I'll take parenting classes. I'll follow your rules. I just want a chance. Rachel swallowed. Her heart felt heavy. Do you even know what that means, Logan? Sleepless nights? Tantrums? Worrying if he's breathing when he sleeps? Being present when it's inconvenient? I don't know everything, he said honestly, but I want to learn. She studied him for a long time. For once, Logan wasn't polished or rehearsed. There was no slick suit or award speech. Just a man, flawed, shaken, asking for grace. I don't trust easily anymore, she admitted. Not after what you did. I don't deserve your trust, he said, but maybe I can earn it. She hesitated, then said, you can stay. For the cake. Later that evening, after the guests left, Noah had fallen asleep mid-hug on the couch, clutching his new dinosaur. Logan and Rachel stood in the kitchen, surrounded by paper plates and half-empty juice boxes. I'll take the trash out, he offered. She chuckled. That's a start. He smiled, and she felt that old flutter stir. Rachel, he said, voice low, I don't expect us to go back. I broke too much. But I still love you. I always have. And I never stop wishing I'd done things differently. Her breath caught. I don't know what comes next, she whispered. But I do know Noah deserves a father. And maybe we deserve another chapter. A slow one. With conditions. I'll take it, he said quickly. Any chapter, any page, as long as I get to be in the story. She smiled, tentative but real. Then you better start with chapter 1. Bedtime stories and school pickups. He grinned. I'll bring the dinosaurs. Epilogue, 6 months later. The park was quiet in the early morning, leaves rustling in the breeze. Logan sat on a bench, Noah curled beside him with a book in hand. Rachel walked toward them from the coffee cart, 2 cups in hand. You didn't fall asleep this time, she teased. I'm adjusting, Logan said, ruffling Noah's hair. Fatherhood doesn't come with snooze buttons. Rachel handed him a cup. Their fingers brushed.